Greetings, students. Welcome to our last fun sociology documentary. So no keywords and concepts video this week. I want you studying. I want you reviewing the stuff we've already learned. I don't want new stuff going in your brain. For this week, for our actual course stuff, we're going to be watching well, it's not the latest. I think there might be another one. I don't know. The pandemic messed it up. We are watching something called 63 Up. It's part of the Up series. So, in 1964, a producer named Michael Apted decided to see if the Jesuit maxim, "Give me a child until he is 7 and I will show you the man," is true. Okay? So I'm going to say the quote again. "Give me a child until he is 7, I will show you the man." So the idea is if the Jesuits could control the education of a child from age 0 to age 7, they could pretty much ensure what kind of human they were going to create as a result of that. So he sought out to kind of prove this. And the way that he did that is back then in the 60s, he chose a number of British school children all over the economic situation, all over the economic sphere. So you had really poor kids. You hear them refer to the East End of London quite a bit. That's the poor, that's where the poor people lived. In London, it's the bad side. So you have very poor people, you have middle class people, and you have very wealthy people in this documentary. And what they did is they started with this group when they were 7 years old, and then they visited them every 7 years. Every 7 years, guys. So they did it at 7, 14, 21, 28, the whole way up. All of the videos, if you get interested in this, like if you are super intrigued, because there's always a handful, all of the videos are available online. I think they're all on YouTube at this point. They've been doing this stuff forever. These people are famous in England because these keep happening every 7 years. Every 7 years they show up. So that's what we're going to be watching this week. Now, this is the one for 63. They're 63 years old. So this is their ninth of these documentaries. The director actually died, so we're not sure if we're going to get any more, which is kind of sad. But it's really interesting. They do show you the old stuff so that you kind of know where they've gone. But you kind of do get to watch these kids grow up, and they're trying to figure out if that maxim is true. If you give somebody 7 years, the first 7 years of their lives, can you predict how they're going to turn out, who they're going to be, what they're going to do? So it's fascinating. It is sociology in action. It is magnificent. So enjoy watching this. It's slightly longer because we don't have a lot of course content this week, and I do want you guys studying. So enjoy it. There's enough background on this, so it'll explain everything for you. For everything. I think the only other thing that people got a little confused on this last time was when they talk about the NHS. In England, that's the National Health Service. That's their nationalized health care. Everybody has that, so it's free. That's that socialized medicine that they have over there. And then I think the only other thing I got questions about was the black cabs. One of the participants is a black cab driver, which is kind of a big deal, actually. So London has these rather famous cabs, where in order to drive the cab, you have to take this incredibly difficult exam that basically asks you for every road in London and every point of interest in London, like the Greater London area. It's really hard to pass. It's really hard to take. It's really hard to be a person who qualifies to do this. So when you hear about the black cabs, that's what they mean. They're taxi cabs. They're just colored black for whatever reason, because British people are British people. So I think those are the only things I wanted to clarify for you before you watch the documentary. Go ahead and watch it. You can always keep up the discussion questions in a separate pane if you want to follow along. And then I'll see you guys in the discussion board.